So could you explain to us briefly what the difference between Vipassana and other meditations is?
Well, the purpose of Vipassana is also called insight meditation. So it's seeing with total clarity. You're seeing, the two-way seeing. You're seeing in and around. You're seeing yourself, and the result of that should be almost like choiceless clarity. It's so clear that action automatically follows, like total action or right action. So that is the purpose. And it's a wisdom path. Now, that might seem very different from the devotional path, because devotional path, you're harnessing emotion. In a way, you see the divine as apart from you, and you're trying to establish a dialogue or some kind of relationship. So, but in the end, we're coming to I think we're all seeking unity with the divine in different ways. But that having been said, there are differences, and it's like all of these different meditations are like the beginning of a path up a mountain, different paths. So if we all get to the top of the mountain, then we all come to unity, but it's not a given that we will get there. Or certain paths actually don't go all the way up. Some paths do go all the way up by different routes, but some paths maybe only go halfway up or 3/4 of the way up. So if you're doing an active meditation or a passive meditation, if you're doing visualization, if you're doing chanting, if you're trying to visualize the image of a god or the god, all of that is quite different. They have different results. So it's not, generally any kind of looking inwards is called meditation, but the result is not the same, even within people who are of the same path and trying to do the same thing, and are not actually doing the same thing, because there's a huge subjective component. You bring your own understanding, you bring your own experiences, your own emotional baggage, etc., to the moment.
So I can see the benefits of having this awareness, especially of in and out and all around of situations, and how that would relate to one's emotional state and even reactions at that time. But that sounds very further down the road. If I was to start a meditation practice today as a lay person, what could I expect practically out of it?
Probably a lot of frustration, but I think people get frustrated partly because of their expectations. So they think that if they are not peaceful or blissful or immediately, loving, that somehow they have failed, or that perhaps this particular form of meditation is not for them. But in Vipassana, we're looking to see what is happening in each moment. So that is the purpose. The purpose is to be present, fully aware in each moment. So if you are aware, even to certain partially aware, and you are aware that you're frustrated, that's actually you are doing the meditation. The meditation is working. And if you can keep on, instead of shutting it down or running away, keep on opening up your heart and mind, that actually is the practice. So I talked earlier about, in my opinion, that compassion and wisdom are actually connected. So at the very beginning, to me, they're connected in the sense that how do you continue? If you walk away, if you stop, you've closed it down, you've closed your heart, you close your mind. If in spite of feeling frustration you come back and you start over, you're actually letting go and starting over again, letting go and starting. The letting go is an opening up of the heart, it's letting go of frustration, it's letting go of grudges that you hold against people, or bad things that people have said about you. So it's letting it go and just starting over again. And we actually only ever live in the present. Our minds are preoccupied with both past and future. But the future is a projection of the past, and the past doesn't exist now, only now exists now. And now is the opportunity to respond. So that in the very beginning stages of meditation, if we have awareness, we can see our kind of normal frustrations and patterns. We can see how the mind likes to operate. And gradually, through perseverance, we can make more spaciousness for ourselves. And in that spaciousness, we see our patterns more clearly. And in that spaciousness, we begin to become more liberated. Our compulsion is not as strong. And over time, then it becomes like a gentle compulsion, becomes like a gentle breeze or an itch rather than a kind of raging fire or windstorm.
So all that frustration and inner looking sounds like quite a bit of work. When you were mentioning the devotional paths, it seems like you could just imagine a picture of the Buddha and carry that along with you and not do the introspection.
Yes, we are very emotional beings. That's why sometimes the wisdom path is described as a path less traveled. And in terms of numbers of people following the wisdom path, I would guess it's maybe 5% or 5% or less of people in the world. Anytime you talk about spirituality or religion, it's mostly devotion, emotions. So that's, people like to chant, people like to go to church and sing, people like to hold hands and dance. It's much more immediate, it's much more accessible. But whether or not it's in itself transformational, you can use that emotion as a vehicle to propel you along the path, the spiritual path towards the divine. But ultimately and eventually, you have to let go. Ultimately, you have to recognize that God is not only out there, but is in here. And that also, it's what we are doing is not only looking for light, but accepting the dark, accepting ugliness, and confronting that if we still hold that within us.